address at the BIMSTEC Young Gen Forum, where the future meets.
Good afternoon. I'm very lucky. I'm lucky because this is my first meeting of BIMSTEC, and that meeting begins with the meeting with the young people. That's what makes me very lucky. All along, I tried to get inspiration from young people, and that helped me to move in the direction that I see in the eyes of the young people and the hopes and aspirations of the young people. That has driven me all along. So I'm very happy that this BIMSTEC journey for me begins with the young people. In this brief presentation, I'll just talk about some of the highlights of my story, how it went. But Excellencies and ladies and gentlemen, and my young friends, first I must express my deep condolences to the tragedy that's taken away so many lives in Myanmar and also in Thailand. And this makes us aware of the limitation of our capacity to save people, and uncertainty, the way nature behaves, that we cannot track. We still have a long way to go, how to make sure we understand the nature and get along with it, making sure we can save people from those uncertainties that confronts us. Bangladesh is also part of the area which is prone to earthquake. Luckily, we have not hit by such tragedy in Bangladesh yet. I'll just give an idea how I got into the things that I have done in the past. I was just mentioning to His Excellency Minister of Social Development that I used to teach in the USA, in Middle Tennessee State University, back in end of 60s and beginning of 70s. I was mentioning because I was surprised to see in my class, almost 1/3 of the class are Thai students. That's not what I expected when I began my teaching job. But I became very close to them. One reason was they are doing very bad in exams. Not because they are bad students, they are very good students, but they couldn't write in English. So I gave them a formula how we overcome that problem, that I'll say, you write in Thai, don't have to worry about it. Don't have to write in English. I'm not your English teacher, I'm your economics teacher. So they will write in Thai, and I'll pick one of the Thai students to come to my place and explain to me, read it and explain to me what the student is writing about. If I see that it's written in the right way, he gets the grade. So I became a good friend of all the Thai students, of course. So that link lingered for a long time. And I left USA just because Bangladesh became an independent country in 1971. I left in the June of 1972. back to Bangladesh. With all the excitement that you have a new country, you can design it with the dreams of your imagination, and you're all excited that you have independence, an independent country. So I was trying to see what I can do in that journey. But very soon, all the excitements of creating a new country started disappearing, because Bangladesh was sinking very deep into economic troubles. By 1974, we had a terrible famine in the country. We read about famine in the textbooks, in the history books, but never see a famine around you. Now we have the experience of seeing a famine. You are coming from the United States with all the excitement of moving forward. Now country is sinking in debt, unimaginable debt. You see dead bodies on the street. It's not a disease, it's not COVID-19 which made them die. It's just not being able to have a fistful of rice to keep them alive. So as a young person, you start wondering, what good is this university where I'm teaching is all about? You can teach all the brilliant theories in classrooms, walk out of the classroom, you see dead bodies. So it unnerved me completely. I didn't know where to begin, what to do. I did little thing here, little thing there, didn't work. Then I decided, Bangladesh is too big for me. I'm a small guy. I can't do anything for whole Bangladesh. But I can do something for the village next to the university campus. This is a very interesting university, beautiful new university, but located in the midst of villages, not in the city, in an urban setting. So I decided this tiny village next to the campus is my Bangladesh. I'll do everything I can to make sure this village remains away from the deaths from hunger. Not only this year, next year, a year from now on. So all the imagination that you have with a good economic life, I tried to bring in my ideas how to build this, create those situations in this village. I did little things again to see if I can be helpful to people. Then I realized the village is too big for me. I can't do anything for the whole village. So I started paying attention to individuals. That's a long story. When I started talking to the people in the village, get to know them, they look at me with suspicions because I'm coming from the university, which is just next door. But still, we are a kind of quote-unquote foreigner. Luckily for me, I could speak the local dialect, so that way there was no language difference. So one particular event took me to take a next step. A woman I met, she was a victim of a loan shark. She did a wonderful job, but the benefit of her job is entirely taken away by the loan shark who provide her the money to buy the ingredients for whatever she is making. And the loan size was just over $1. That's a loan. But that $1 loan kind of made her into a slave labor. Instead of overcoming the problem, she became a slave labor because whatever she prepares, the condition of the loan shark is, you have to sell anything you produce to me at the price I decide. Imagine that. So the conversation, I said, if I give you the dollar, can you produce and sell it in the market? She was not familiar with the market. She said, I can try. So that was my first loan I gave. Gave her $1. I said, you have to pay me back. But whenever you can, I'm not going to force you to do anything. And the results I got from her kind of made me think, if $1 can do such a thing, why won't I do more? And I still have lots of money in my pocket. I'm coming from the United States. I was teaching there for several years. My pockets are full with dollar. So that was the beginning. And it led to step by step, not only just lending money, but raising questions, fundamental questions. If this money, this dollar can change one person's life, and you get your money back, why don't we do more? I go to the bank in the campus. It's a newly built campus, newly built banking offices. I talked to the manager. He said, why don't you lend money to the people, poor people in the village? He was shocked. He simply argued, bank cannot lend money to poor people. So I argued and argued. Nothing changed. I said, you know what? Your banking system is totally wrong. You are built in a wrong principle. The principle that you work with, the more you have, the more you get. So you're always looking for the guys who have more, so that you can give them more. I said, that's kind of reverse of the actual principle that you should have. Actual principle should have been, the less you have, the more attention you get. My first responsibility is to go at your door to serve you. You don't do that. As a result, you create this problem for the whole village and for the whole country. Now I see it's whole world. Same banking principle. The more you have, the more you get. If you have nothing, you get nothing. So stay there. The whole idea of transforming the society is killed right there. There's nothing wrong with people. They're full of energy, full of creative ideas, but the institutions are built in the wrong way. So I started becoming very vocal. Since I'm a university professor, I'm quoted in the press. I make it very, very sharp. People laugh at me. This crazy guy, don't understand any business, any banking. He keeps talking loud about something which cannot be done at all. Poor people need jobs, not money. I started answering that question. I said, money is more important than job. That became another root of my arguments, and I continue to do that. But for the time being, I'm saying, not only banks should be made in a way that you should be focusing, started doing business at the bottom first and then gradually move up. To make it more focused, I started saying not only credit is important, it should be considered as a human right. People say, what? bank loan has got to do with human rights? I said, everything. Right to live, right to shelter, right to health, right to health. These are recognized as human rights. You cannot achieve right to food, right to shelter, right to health, all these, unless you establish right to credit. The moment you have the right to credit, others will be established by themselves, by people themselves. You don't have to bring it from outside, because credit leads to income. So that continued. I said, since bank doesn't give the money, why don't I create my own bank? So that is another route. Starting with that $1 loan. Now I'm talking about creating my own bank. It took a lot of time. Finally, I created a bank for the village, called the Village Bank. In Bangla, we call it Gramin Bank. That's the word you hear. Gramin means village, village bank. And I was very excited. And how do we get all this thing done? With all my students. I didn't have anybody else. My students loved those ideas. They were with me all the time. Continued with that. So it's established in the village, then it started spilling over to the other villages and other villages. Soon we see it became nationwide bank. Everybody said, why do you do that? That doesn't do anything, this tiny little money, $5, $10, $20. That's not, I said, that's the beginning. First dollar is the most important dollar in everybody's life. But the world denies that money. What I'm doing, I'm just bringing that as a human right, that you can do that. As a bank, it's not a charity. Then I started arguing about the charity versus loan. I said, charity is a wonderful idea. Charity money goes out, does wonderful thing. The money doesn't come back. So you have one time use your money. But if you invest and lend the money, and the person who took the money promises to pay you back with interest so that you can cover your cost, that's a fantastic opening. You can go thousands of miles with that. Nobody can stop you because money rolls back again and again. So you use the same money over and over again. And I started saying, charity money has only one life. You can use the money once only. Money goes out, does a wonderful job, but never comes back. That's called charity. I say the same thing if I use it as a loan. I lend the money, I provided the funds, charge the cost of the operation, money comes back. Use it again. It does the same thing again. So you can expand and expand and expand. Reach out to millions and millions of people. It's very difficult to argue such things in the environment where banking means you have to be providing collateral. I said collateral is the wrong idea. It's a wall built to deny poor people access to bank. That's the only purpose. How dare you say that? I say it because I don't have collateral in my system. People take money, they pay me back. Oh, they will never pay back. I said they have been paying back all my life. I have no problem. Oh, they will finally show you that you are not right because they will not pay you back. I said, I've been doing it for years. Many people are copying it. They're doing it for years. Just because you imagine something doesn't make it right. This is real. We do it all every day. So that's another road opened up. Banking without collateral. I said collateral is just an excuse to refuse people financial services from the banking system. If it can work without collateral, why do you need a collateral? Then people say, oh, Bangladesh is a crazy country, funny country. You can get away with this kind of thing and people listen to you. I said, no, not Bangladesh alone. Now it's spreading in many countries. Right now, it's a funny thing. It's working in the United States. 35 major cities in the United States have Grameen program called Grameen America. They have over 200,000 borrowers, all women, 100% women. In Bangladesh, it's about 95% women. In the United States, 100% women, not a single man in the whole system. Last year, we lent out over $1.5 billion in tiny loans. In tiny loans in the United States means under $1,000, $500, $700, and so on, and expanding. Very soon, we'll be arriving at a situation where we'll be lending out over $5 billion a year. That's the spread going. So this is again a challenge in the system to change the world. You cannot create a world with the same system. If you want to change the world, you have to change the system. There's no other option for you, no matter how you argue with it. If you go by the same road, you'll always get to the same destination. If you want to go to a new destination, you have to build a new road. So that became another issue. We continued with that, and when we have this system working in Bangladesh, we saw problems with children, healthcare, education. So we started adding these things. First thing we did about toilets. Poor families don't have any toilet. We said, if you're a Grameen Bank borrower, first thing we do, you must have a toilet. And we lend you money to build the toilet. They said, well, how do we pay it back? Don't worry. You pay a tiny, tiny little bit. So small that it doesn't bother you anymore. But over years, you will pay us back the entire amount. So we built a company to produce toilet, and we install in every single house, the Grameen Bank family house. So toilet became an essential thing in Grameen families. And we had no problem with giving the money, spending the money, and getting the money back. Then we started giving the housing loans. Again, the same principle. We build a house, you build a house, we give the money, you pay over a long period. Then we started bringing healthcare through health insurance. You pay a tiny little bit, but you're covered under health insurance. Again, it pays it back. So we created lots of these little things, one after another, in a sustainable way, from a financially sustainable way. They said, you must be getting lots and lots of foreign money to do all these things. I said, I don't take any foreign money at all. Grameen Bank resists foreign money. Many big international organizations wanted to give lots of money. I said, no, we don't need money. We have plenty of money. We are in a business. We generate our own money. In a bank. Banking system is a very interesting system. It generates its own money. People come and put the deposits in the bank and use the money to give it to the people. And we are the most reliable bank in the whole country. We work in all the villages. People from the area, they come and put the money because no other bank. So we have lots of money coming in. Our problem is not shortage of money. Our problem was a surplus of money. They put the money in, but we don't know how quickly to expand your business, because your business is fixed. It has to be poor women. Their capacity to take money is limited. So it's a very reverse kind of experience. So this is one area. We created all these businesses. We created these programs, turned into businesses. Toilet business, so it became a commercial business. We produce toilet and sell it to borrowers. Healthcare became a separate business. Housing became a separate business. So along the way, we created many businesses. And people keep asking, how many businesses can you run? You must be making a lot of money. I said, yes, It brings the money back, but we don't want to make any profit out of it. Another debate began. Debate is, how can you run a business not to make money? Because in our textbook says you must maximize profit if you want to be a business. And you were saying you don't want to make profit for yourself. I said, that's the difference. I'm saying I don't want to make profit for myself. Business makes profit. Profits is rolled into the business to expand the business, to reach out to more people, provide more services. It's self-reliant businesses. That became a debate. That you cannot call a business. I said, I'm an economics teacher, so you don't have to define what a business is all about. It's a perfect business. Simply, I don't take the money off the business into my pocket. That's all. Then it is not a business. You have to make money. That's the business. I said, no, that's not what it says. It says you have to make profit, not put it in your pocket. No, you have to put it in your pocket. So that debate went on. Big experts in economics started challenging the whole idea. I said, okay, it doesn't fit into your idea of business. This is a new idea of business. So I needed a name to define it as a new business. So I started calling it social consciousness-driven business. When I mention it several times, it looks too long for me. So I simplified it, call it social business. What is a social business? Social business is a business to solve problems rather than make money for yourself. Oh, then this is not a business. Business is not supposed to solve problems. Business is supposed to make money for yourself. I said, this is a new kind of business. Do you have a problem with that? If you have a problem, you don't go do it. I have no problem, I do it. So I created social businesses. And one after another, we created many social business, became nationwide businesses. Very interesting thing is, some international companies, global companies became interested in the concept of social business. They wanted to build social business, taking us as a partner. So we agreed. So we kept Danone, Uniqlo, and many other such companies. So another class of business created, social business. See, the world is stuck. And it cannot free itself from the old thinking. In old thinking, you are destroying this whole world for yourself. I said, old thinking has created old civilization, which you are going through. And I repeatedly underlined that old civilization that we are going through, the present civilization that we are going through, is a self-destructive civilization. It will destroy everything. And that's the path we are going. If you want to survive as human being on this planet, I said we have to create a new civilization, which will be, the features of new civilizations has to be very clear. It's shown, first condition of the new civilization, the businesses should not be greed-driven. So greed part has to be squeezed out in the new civilization. Greed will destroy us. Why? Because whatever, all the things that we talk about, we promise as a government to see this is what we're doing, our country is moving forward, our GDP is growing and all that, and growth rate is so high. So what? All the wealth this is generated gets concentrated in few hands. They become richer and richer. And we call it development, we call it growth, we call it fantastic economy. But that's, you are planting the seed of your self-destruction. Unless wealth is shared, you cannot sustain a society. Concentration of wealth equals concentration of power. And you start concentrating power and deprive the power for the people on the ground, that society will collapse sooner or later. That's it. This is one reason why the civilization cannot sustain. On top of it, we are destroying the planet to environmental side. We created the world where consumption is the king. You buy, consume. And in the process, create waste and waste and waste. If not anything else, the whole waste that we generate every day will put us into grave of waste. I said we have to redesign our lifestyle. Lifestyle is not about continuous process of creating waste. Life is about preservation. Life is about protection. So I continued on that. Then finally I came out with one idea, put it in a kind of capsule format. So we have to create a civilization of 3 zeros. 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, zero unemployment. And unemployment not because everybody has a job. The way I interpret unemployment, I said, human beings are not born to work for anybody else. The economic system that we are taught, is again put onto wrong footing. We are asking everybody to find a job. Our education system is built around finding, so that you could get a job as soon as you finish your school. You get a certificate, you get a job. I said human beings are very different from job seeker. First of all, human beings are not slaves. Slavery is not part of our destination. Job turns you into a slave. You take orders from other people. You are born as an entrepreneur. So I bring the entrepreneurship at the center. Every child has to grow up as an entrepreneur. Our schooling, our education system change itself. You teach young people to become an entrepreneur, not to become a job seeker. So that is another clash between what we are promoting and what we are practicing in the outside world. I said, the young generation today is you forget about the previous generation. Today's generation is so different. I keep mentioning to the young generation that you are the most powerful generation in the human history. And you are taking this most powerful generation and put them into work for somebody else. Take orders from somebody else. They're filled with ideas. If you free them. Now you're forcing them to get a job because otherwise they're going to survive. Because you have not provided those things. So that's where we say we have to be entrepreneurs. So 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, zero unemployment. And then we started encouraging young people between 12-year-old to 35-year-old to create what we call 3-0 clubs. 5 young people get together, create a 3-0 club. What do? Each one of you transform yourself as 3-0 person. I do not contribute as a person. I do not contribute into carbon emission. I do not do anything which contributes to carbon emission. It's my lifestyle issue. I create a life where I don't do that. I do not create any waste. This is part of my commitment as a member of the Peace Club. I do not practice anything which will lead to wealth concentration. Zero wealth concentration. I'll become an entrepreneur. I do not contribute to job seeking, working for somebody else. So these are the 3-0, I become a 3-0 person. So this is the direction I want to go. So these are the ideas that one led to another. This is not something happened isolated way. Each one linked to one. I mentioned to go back, concentrate in one village. I said, whatever you try to do, don't try to do overnight, change the world. You cannot do that. If you want to change the world, you start with your village. You start with your neighborhood. If you are successful with your neighborhood, then you have a chance to go to the next step and the next step. Life is about developing a prototype. If you build a prototype, The rest is easy. Replicate. Because your basic structure here fixed up. That's how microcredit works. You built up the first unit. If the first unit works, you can make thousands and thousands of units doing the same thing. So don't start with a big thing. That's the wrong idea. Always start with the smallest thing possible. Figure out what the smallest thing is all about. And you do that. If you're successful with your smallest unit, you can conquer the world. The rest is easy, just by repetition. So this is where we are right now, and trying to see we can address the people's attention to change their views, because the whole problem is created by the way we structured the civilization for ourselves. Unless we redesign it, we are stuck and we are finished. So that's the world we see. We have the alternative. It's not that it's a kind of terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing. Simply become aware. It can be done in a different way, in a better way, in a sustainable way. That's the direction we want to go. And that's where young people get excited, because they have lots of creative ideas. Somehow we put a tab on it, put them under wrap, open it up. And young people dare to be themselves and get into a mission that we have to create a world so that the whole human community survives. Otherwise, we're in grave danger. So I'll stop here, and I guess I'm supposed to take some questions. I'll be very happy to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. His Excellency will gain not only valuable knowledge but also meaning.